Oh, yeah. Mule. I hear you, Mule. You want to walk us over to the game reveal? The Mule wants to take us. Let's go on over. Trot us in that direction for the Phantom of the Crapera, Mule. Oh, that was a scary portal. So scary. But you know what's even scarier? It may be our GM. I don't know. We're getting some sort of horror. And the person to be giving out the horror is indeed our friend, the Donkey Clonk. Donkey Clonk, come on in. Let's chat a little bit. Hey there, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. I've been sort of very distracted just trying to get everything running because that's just my life today, I guess. I don't know. You start having a good conversation with strangers on the internet, and before you know it, you haven't set up at all, and Donkey Klonk's just waiting to get in here, and you're like, crap, I was supposed to do stuff. Well, honestly, I feel like I'm mostly set up at this point, just creating one last video so that we can do our transition later on. But other than that, I think I'm ready for us to discuss what kind of horror you have today.
Oh, I found the perfect game, which is the intersection of spooky scary, musicals, and Pride Month. We have the Rocky Horror Show for Commodore 128.
I just love... For Commodore 128, that's like a sentence that you get to hear once a year, you know? Now, we've had the Commodore 64 version of this before, right?
Yes, and this version looks a bit prettier, but it's not much difference. There are a few extra screens on the map.
I love it. Everybody, this is the one time in my stream that you can yell, "Damn it, Janet," okay? And other than...
Kusog7ande is hanging over my head, and the game we're about to see it fills me with dread. Oh, are we? This game will be so crappy. Oh, can't you see? We're at the start of a really weird hour.
See, Roar almost hit some of those notes, so that was cool.
Yes, I haven't actually seen the source material for this, so I put out an open invite in the GM chat for people to comment more on the source material, and that's certainly we're not going to regret that at all.
Oh yeah, we're gonna regret it a lot. Well, thank you very much, Roar, for hopping in. We are probably gonna have random people sing at us every once in a while. And you know what? I have seen Rocky Horror several times, but I have never seen it in sort of the cult classic theater viewing because I'm not really a fan of yelling sexist things at the stage. I understand that it's part of the original experience. It's just not for me. I'll enjoy the movie without that. Thank you very much. But that's my own opinion. I love Rocky Horror. Simply put, an amazing way to introduce Tim Curry into the world. Tim Curry, in fact, was in the original stage production of Rocky Horror, as was Meatloaf. And they both made it into the movie as well. And I just think that's amazing. I love Meatloaf. Do you know Meatloaf very much?
I heard of his music, and I know he was in the movie version of this.
The movie and the stage version. Yep. And I just think that's amazing. Honestly, I had been going and listening to a little Meatloaf lately. I've really had fun. Well, quote unquote lately. Okay, not like in the last... I don't even know. It's been a while.
You're going to need to put up a big flashing warning for this, by the way.
Oh, yes. If a mod is able to do that mod, feel free to do that because we will definitely need that. Other than that,
bro, if you've been listening to Meatloaf, important question. He will do anything for love, but he won't do that. What is that?
That, actually, there are quite a few different things that is. Meatloaf did argue that it was up for interpretation, but he also did an analysis of, let's see.
I think the song pretty clearly says that he won't be running around cheating on her behind her back. So, like,
I mean, there are a few different. Oh my gosh! Of course. Blasphemous Roar just runs away before I'm able to explain. Fine, whatever, Roar. There are a few different verses, and depending on the verse, that is the thing that he won't do that. I mean, there is one point where the lady's like, sooner or later you'll be screwing around, and then Meatloaf says, I won't do that. No, I won't do that. So basically, he'll do all the romantic stuff and not all the scumbag stuff. That's what the song is all about, Donkey Kong. I'm trying to educate you. You educated yet?
No, but I do have a craving for Meatloaf.
You have a craving for Meatloaf. That's even better. Oh my gosh. I love having you here. Like, it honestly, Donkey Kong, I'm so glad that you became involved in being a GM, because you've got, like, a knowledge of the Commodore 64 and, I guess, the Commodore 128 that I just do not have, and I think that is fantastic that you do. Now let me go ahead and turn up this music and see if we're getting some of the sound here. I hear nothing yet. Let me see if the players can do anything about this.
You don't want to ask them to reset, because this takes a long time to load.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, Commodore 128. Flashing warning, everybody. There is very much a flashing warning, okay? You don't pay attention to that. Then I don't know what I can do for you. Is this a common dork game? Are you a dork, chat? Oh my gosh, we got dorks here. Blasphemous Roar is killing me right now. Roar is basically saying it sucks when you finally find your voice in the public space and your voice sucks. And no, Roar, I'm sure you're good at singing, but maybe don't do it in my Discord. Thank you. No, actually, oh, come on. I randomly sing on stream every once in a while. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Terrible Republican ideals.
He just yelled terrible Republican ideals. We should just start the match.
And remember, Blue High says trans rights.
Okay, we don't hear audio, so if you start and we have no audio, I'm gonna stop and yell at you, angry face. Let me go ahead. I'm just letting them know that, like, I understand that it takes a long time to load, but my warning is if they do not have audio after we start, then I'm going to go ahead and tell them to stop, and I will yell at them, and then we will get audio going. And yeah, chat, I agree. Yeah, trans rights. But also, this movie, I feel like it definitely hasn't aged the best, but for the time that the Rocky Horror Show came out, it was like really pushing the lines for what was acceptable movie-wise, and I'm glad that they did that. Like, I feel like this movie was revolutionary in many ways. It hasn't aged the best, but I still love the movie.
Yeah, and it somehow feels as if the world has regressed since then, in terms of drag bans and so on.
Yeah,
it's more necessary than ever.
Yeah, I will go ahead and say that if there are references in this game that have aged, as usual, this is a bad video game stream, and we like to experience media in the way that it was created. However, I I don't believe the last time that we had the game there was anything that was questionable per se. But we're doing the countdown, everybody. You need to spam all of your best Rocky Horror related emotes, skulls, scary things. If you have aliens or robots, if you have someone named Brad, go ahead and spam that. If you have Tim Curry, trans rights is absolutely appropriate, at least for us, and we've got music. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it's going to work out. Well, Donkey Klonk, tell me a little bit about this special game that we've got here, the Rocky Horror Picture Show for Commodore 128. And I'm also going to work a little bit on the layout so that it's a little easier for people to see everything going on here.
So this is a collect-a-thon that we're going to watch for an hour.
Great.
See these green pieces on the screen? Those are pieces that you have to collect and bring to a special screen.
Okay. So what are we collecting here?
These are pieces of the D-Medusa machine. The plot of the game is that whoever of Brad and Janet that you didn't pick has been turned to stone by the Medusa machine. Let me bring up the manual.
Oh, yeah. Feel free. Oh no, it looks like they are naked right now. Brad only covers the crotch. Janet covers all sensitive areas, so that's very nice of her. Thank you, Janet.
And that happens if you run into one of the cast.
Yeah.
And your clothes will be on a random screen, and you can't pick up any items until you put your clothes back on.
Understandable. Honestly, I have a hard time carrying things while I am in the nude. I do love that there's the freezer temp. For people who haven't watched the movie, there is a point where Meatloaf is frozen in the freezer. His name is Eddie in the movie, and he accidentally gets thawed and bursts out and sings an amazing song and promptly gets murdered. I believe that Eddie will appear and probably murder you in this game if he thaws, right?
Yeah, when Banguera gave this game out in Kusog7ande 4, he told the players about how you avoid Eddie. I didn't, I just gave out a manual.
I mean, that's fair enough. They'll figure it out. So that's something like movie knowledge could surprisingly help a little bit in this game, at least to understand like how the freezer temperature is relevant to what's happening here. With that said, it looks like Pika Pals is on the elevator. Triscor has a piece of the machine, I believe. Well, both of them have a piece. It's just I don't think either of them has delivered the piece where they need to go.
No, neither of them have. So, the manual says, the plot, your beloved Janet or Brad has been kidnapped by the evil Dr. Frankenfurter, who has activated the diabolical Medusa machine to turn her or him into stone.
I just love this description and, like, them having the whole plot with parentheses to clarify who they're talking about.
Frank, however, has dismantled the D-Medusa, the only machine that will reverse the petrification process, and has scattered the parts around the castle. Frankie knows that you will attempt to save your partner, and it amuses him to watch your feeble efforts as you collect the pieces and attempt to activate them. Time is of the essence, as the castle is a disguised spaceship and is on final countdown. Triple exclamation point.
Ah! That's scary! By the way, everybody, if we use certain terms in this game to talk about something, then...
This corp is on the right screen, but I don't think he actually put the piece back, because you need to pull the... press the fire button for that.
Oh, yeah, I think that you're probably right. At least Triscore made it to the correct screen. And I believe that despite not knowing what to do immediately there, Triscore will hopefully be able to figure it out in a little bit. So yeah, everybody, if there is anything that we say, we may make references to the movie discussing that, because there are certain terms in the movie that have aged and probably are insensitive now, but are also pretty critical to the movie plot. So any terms used, if we're talking about quotes from the movie, I want to emphasize that we are just talking about the movie.
Peepcapals doesn't realize that behind the curtain is where you're supposed to deliver the pieces.
Yes.
You don't want me to talk about what sweet thing Tim Curry is.
Okay. Per the movie lore, Tim Curry is, I'm just,
You're so afraid to say it.
No, I'm just trying, like, I feel like I'm forgetting one or two words. I'm in front of an audience here, okay?
He's just a sweet
transsexual. He's a transsexual transvestite from Pennsylvania.
Transsexual. Transylvania.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Of course, our terms have changed a little bit, but let me just say, Tim Curry rocks the part, okay? Tim Curry is amazing.
Seems to have delivered a piece.
Yeah,
Tim Curry's all in the movie, and it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I barged in here to just say that Donkey Clonk, by the way, when you were narrating the manual, if you had just like an echo on your mic, you'd have been fantastic for the narrator voice in this game.
Oh, you would have been. I actually, like, the more that I've listened, the more that I think I like the original production in the UK, the recording that they have. That I like that more than the movie production, actually. Everything's a little bit faster tempo than in the movie. Everything feels a little bit more upbeat. It's a little bit jarring if you've only seen the movie and not heard the original stage production, but I just think it's a little bit better in some regards.
I haven't seen the UK version.
Well, I haven't seen it. I've only listened to it. I recommend it, Blasphemous Roar, if you are a fan of the movie version.
I'm not necessarily a fan, nor not a fan.
Yeah. I'm also going to go ahead and say, everybody, if you are LGBT and you have not seen the movie, that is completely fine. It is not required watching unless you really like being a nerd.
And I don't think Peekapal's screen here is true to the source material.
I don't think I remember this in the movie at all. No, come to think of it.
Yeah, there were no yin-yang signs. There might have been No, there weren't any floppies. This was, what, late 70s that the movie came out? Ah! Peekaboo, no! That is very much a death.
Now, the important question about this game 75. Is, does knowing how to do the time warp actually beneficial?
Well, it's a jump to the left, and then a step to the right, and then you have to put your hands on your hip, bring your knees in tight, but it's the pelvic thrust. What does the pelvic thrust do, Blasphemous? Wait, no, shut up! Shut up, everybody! Thrust. That really takes you away, or...
Really drives you insane.
Yeah, that's right. Ah!
So I haven't watched this.
I'm in front of people. I can't brain right now, okay? If you ask Justin how well I remember lyrics to anything, well, the answer is going to be not very well. But Triscore appears to be doing pretty good at actually building this machine. Like, Triscore is making progress.
Triscore has 4 pieces, but he is about to experience the terrors of meatloaf.
So is the progress marked in this game just how many pieces that they've collected of the QR code?
The QR code. Everybody get your phones out. Get ready to scan. We're going to be taken to some virus. Yeah. I remember the first time that I ever heard of the time warp was definitely when I was a teen. Thank you, Dr. Demento, for having that on one of your albums. Honestly, the music in Rocky Horror, I feel like at least some of the songs are required listening, and the time warp is like one of those quintessential songs that everybody should have heard at least once in their lives.
Unfortunately, it's the only song in this game, so this might fulfill your time warp quota for life.
I mean, I remember doing the time warp drunken in the presidential suite at MagFest, so, you know.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Ooh.
Hot Patootie, bless my soul.
I see.
And that's a game over Triss
Oh
Court.
no! Hot Patootie indeed.
Oh no! He threatened his life with a switchblade knife! What a guy.
That's 5 pieces and the 1 piece not
Cry.
My, what a guy, that Gaston. Wait, that's the wrong movie.
What a guy makes you cry, and I did.
The stage production doesn't have the guy sing that low, but the movie certainly does. Yeah. When Eddie said he didn't love his Teddy, you knew he was a no good kid. But when he threatens your life with a switchblade knife, what a guy makes you cry. And I did.
And I did.
Yeah, I believe that one of the best parts of the movie, I feel, is when Tim Curry suddenly appears in... I just say Tim Curry, it's Dr. Frankenfurt, but appears in Janet's room, and he's like, oh, tried to seduce her. And then, like, the next scene, he shows up saying the exact same lines in Brad's room. And it's just so good trying to seduce Brad. Tim Curry seduces everybody in that movie, and it's very important to the plot.
Triss Court has some really favorable RNG here with 2 pieces in the room where you deliver the pieces.
Wow, very nice.
Hear me out. I'm as straight as a short bow, so, like, if Tim Curry hit on me and tried to seduce me, I'd go for it, too. So, like...
Straight as a short bow.
With the pieces, but it's really bad to have Riff Raff spawn in this room, because Riff Raff cannon will one-shot you.
Oh, really? Like, with the laser specifically? I mean, Riff Raff, at the end of the movie, sort of does that anyway, so it makes sense. I would say that this is canonically accurate, that Riff Raff can kill you.
I mean, the fact that you continue to live to this day, and I do mean not Brad or Janet, I mean you.
Me?
You, the viewer. You, the Brosentia.
Wow.
Continue to live to this day is merely because of Riff Raff's generosity.
And Triss Corp dies to Riff Raff on the screen transition because this is a fair and balanced game.
Flashing warning.
I forgot to actually tweet this out, so let me go ahead and share this out.
With a flashing warning.
Yeah, flashing. Well, we got the flashing warning in Twitch. Okay, we've got the flashing warning there.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
Well, I
with
see
a
I'm not
mind
welcome here
flip,
anymore.
you're in for the time slip. Let's do. The music's just a little too slow. I gotta be honest. They need to speed it up. This is like doing the time warp, but you're kind of sleepy, so you're just like doing lackluster time warping.
It should also be mentioned that on the screens that the elevator is on, that lags the game massively for some reason. And enemies also love to appear and block the elevator as it's going up and down.
I'm sorry, I saw a note about the game coming up after this because one of the players said they've been reading the document, haven't even loaded the game, and they already hate the game. If you haven't loaded the game and you hate it, yeah, it's going to get a little worrying. Guess what? After this is an endurance round. 2 hours of suffering for the players. Just about right.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. With that said, I know that there is a machine in Rocky Horror that freezes everybody in place. And specifically, they do that before being hypersexualized and then having to dance in cabaret outfits. And yeah.
Are you only able to pick up one piece at a time?
Yes, you can only hold one piece.
Okay.
Just like the anime.
Yeah, yo, ho, ho.
With 5 pieces about to... Unless... No, Riprap, no.
Oh, there we go. Okay, 5 pieces. Triscore has 4 right now. Do you think either player will beat this game?
Nope.
Yeah, honestly, I would say that, like, the Time Warp deserves to be the most popular song of the movie. It's really good, but there's so many just amazing songs in it, and I like some of the, like, lower key, nothing's low key, but lower key songs that people don't talk about all that much. It's just, like...
I mean, I basically always quote the Sword of Damocles just constantly in my life.
You quote this all the time.
Oh, woe is me. My life is a misery.
Yeah, there we go. We're getting the, I'm just a... Wait. Just a sec. I'm hearing the Time Warp, and I can't think of the words. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh. It was great when it all began.
So Peekabuzz is having real bad luck with the clothes spawn.
I have bad luck with my clothes spawning as well. Just going to the closet. There's nothing I want to wear. Then again, I got fat. It's a little bit hard to wear stuff. Yeah. I need to get, like, here's the deal. Okay, it's like pandemic came and I was like, I'm just staying at home, I'm wearing pajama pants, and then suddenly, bam, like, now people are, like, over the last 6 months or so, people are going outside and doing stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to go outside with my pajama pants, but I like them. I like pajama pants. So, people are wondering, why do you need clothes in this game?
Because they're ashamed.
You can't
They
carry...
should not be ashamed of themselves. They should use both hands willy-nilly and not worry about covering up.
Yeah, the thing is, you are too embarrassed when you're naked, and you have to use your hands to cover yourself so you can't carry pieces of the machine back.
I think this is a lead for Peekabuzz with 6 pieces delivered.
That is correct,
Very, very nice. Now, if I'm not... Oh, go ahead.
Peekabuzz is also in real danger of Meatloaf here.
Yeah, but will Meatloaf ride a motorcycle on the 2nd floor?
Yes, because that is also where the freezer is.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
So is there a way to slow down the freezer? Because I'm noticing 2 different time limits now, with the freezer and the timer on the bottom. So I can only assume, unless it's health on the bottom.
There is a bit of a trap, because you can't actually disable the freezer unless the temperature is above 0.
Okay, but you can disable the freezer?
You might run into the freezer and think it does nothing.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a little bit tricky there.
We just had Eddie ride by. Sweet Patootie, bless my soul.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean... One thing that I love about Meatloaf songs is that a lot of them, even though they're like high... Oh, if you think of songs from the 80s and early 90s, a lot of them were kind of creepy romance things, and like his are kind of that way, but also with an element of comedy in them. It's... Oh no, Peekabuzz, that is death! I believe that was only 6 pieces delivered, but 7 collected. I mean, still, really good job there.
So he had the voice, he had the rhythm, unfortunately, he just didn't quite have the lyrics. So don't be sad, no, 'cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
'Cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I love it. I want you. I need you.
Earlier when you were like, oh, it's okay,
mean...
Roar, we all sing off key. Screw you. I wasn't talking about me with the finding your voice and it sucks. I was talking about Meatloaf becoming a public figure and having terrible Republican opinions.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That doesn't mean I'm ever gonna love you. Now don't be sad. 'Cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah.
God, have you ever heard that song in your life, or are you tone deaf?
Well, I mean, I was singing to a different key than the original, I'll go ahead and admit, but also I'm listening to Time Warp, and it's just hard to sing a completely different song while the Time Warp is just here, drilling its song into my head, okay?
Donkey Clock, why would you invite me into this call?
I know, right?
Because you've seen this.
I saw it like 20 years ago. I don't know. Maybe in another lifetime.
Yeah.
My mother played Columbia in a player show, and my brother used to go every Saturday.
Aw. I mean, I'm glad that there are people who are, like, hardcore fans. I really don't care for it, like, with the, like, cult classic aspect of the movie. Like, I'm glad that there is all of that, but, like, I genuinely enjoy the movie, and I think that it's interesting. Whereas a lot of people who go for the performances are like, the movie's no good without having a group there. And I'm like,
Chris
it's
Corp
fine.
is about to deliver 7 pieces, which would put him in the lead.
Yeah. Well, good, Triscore. Yeah, both of the players are really learning how to play this game, and that's great. Honestly, like, this is, again, we had the Commodore 64 version before. I'm glad that we've got the graphical update with the Commodore 128 version here. Honestly, this looks pretty good. I would say that this game is probably just brutally difficult in, like, actually trying to accomplish all of the goals before you get killed. Like, you get killed really fast in this game.
Yeah, you have one-shot kills, you have your character moving very slowly. That team limit is really brutal.
Someone should port this to the Scum engine and add puzzles, said Skyron. Make this into... You could easily turn Rocky Horror into an adventure game, and it would still somehow be cleaner than Leisure Suit Larry.
What a good dodge by Triscorp. Screen transitioning to dodge Meatloaf. And now Triscorp has 8 pieces.
Very nice. So yeah, the characters who appear here, you've got Riff Raff, specifically in the manual described as a manic-depressive butler, and I might also describe him as somebody who just seems a little bit too happy and is actually an alien. Magenta, a domestic and Riff Raff's sister. I actually don't think I remember her from the movie at all, I gotta be honest.
He was like, there was a trio of women, Magenta, Columbia, and somebody, I think.
Magenta, Columbia.
Whatever happened to Saturday night? No, Tristan! I'm watching on the...
Whatever happened to Saturday night? Yeah. There's Columbia who shows up in this. She's a groupie. Rocky Horror shows up in the game, and Rocky is specifically the Frankenstein of the movie. However, instead of looking like Frankenstein, he is a very buff muscle man. I'm just 7 hours old. What a beauty to behold. Yeah.
Frankenstein may have entered the wrong bodybuilding competition, but Frankenfurter definitely entered the correct bodybuilding competition.
Well, I mean, in just 7 days. So, darling, I can make you a man. It's good stuff. It's good stuff, Roar. Tim Curry, absolutely perfect playing the Doctor. But yeah, like the whole thing is essentially a parody / love letter to old school science fiction. Because, you know, they take everything from science fiction, amp the sexuality up as high as you could do it in the 70s and still get away with it being a movie / stage production. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I don't think there's even any nudity in the movie.
Go? Do you want to go?
Sure.
To the late night?
Oh.
Double feature?
Picture show.
Picture show?
In the back row.
Through the back row.
Yeah, you know why you sit in the back row. That way you get a better view. At least I think that's why. Pretty good.
So, I'm sorry to kill the mood, but I think I should talk a little about Commodore 128.
Yes! No, that is not killing the mood at all. Please.
No killing the mood. Free me from this horror. Goodbye.
Roar will be back.
So the Commodore 128 was not a technical decision, it was a political decision.
What?
One major European nation in the late 80s, I think it was Spain, could also be France, decided to subsidize her home computerizations.
Ooh.
And basically, you got tax money for buying a home computer. But they wanted to exclude the Commodore 64 and the ZX Spectrum because those were considered toys. So to get the tax subsidy, you have to buy a computer with 128 kilobytes of RAM. And of course, what happens was that instead of the intended computers, there were 128 kilobyte versions of the C64 and the ZX Spectrum released instead.
Yeah, that... Honestly, Oh no! Pika Pals just got killed by Meatloaf! Always a horrifying thing, but, you know, that's how it goes. Remember, everybody watching, this match is 1 hour long, and whoever loses is eliminated from Kusog7ande this year. Yeah, this is kind of really important for the players. Honestly,
I think this is the...
Oh, go ahead.
I think this is the first time anyone has actually seen Rocky Horror on this screen.
Oh, where Triscor is. Yeah. I mean, he just wears a thong. Oh, come on. I mean, Rocky Horror is allowed to have, like, black hair, sure. But in the movie, he was, like, blonde and super muscular. And so if you're trying to make a game based off of the movie, you know, you've got at least a more yellow color that you could have put on the hair. Come on, I'm criticizing sprites now. I'm criticizing artwork. Honestly, this game looks pretty good, except what is this freezer here? Yeah. I'm terrified.
Yeah, and because Triscop entered too early, nothing in here will work. But let's hope that Triscop doesn't dismiss this room, because it does nothing until the temperature is above 0.
Yeah, so I'm seeing the manual specifically says Eddie, who we just saw in the freezer, is a failed experiment suspended in deep freeze who tends to thaw out occasionally and so needs to be reactivated. Is it the freezer who needs to be reactivated or Eddie?
The freezer.
Okay. Yeah.
And Triscorp has some pretty good RNG, because pieces close to the freezer are the ones that are the longest path to bring back.
Okay. Good. So how do you actually reactivate the freezer? Is there a strategy for that?
You see there are 3 buttons above Meatloaf in the freezer room. One of them will be a different color if you can reactivate the freezer.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So right now, Triscor may soon be getting to the time in the game where you can turn the freezer back on, but not really a huge deal until then. Meanwhile, you know, there are characters running around who will disrobe you if they get a chance, and that's cool. Yeah, so you just want to dodge them as much as possible. Triscore, unfortunately, not being able to pull off the dodge, and thus gets to be naked for a little while. I just love the sideways shuffle while you're naked. It's so good.
Yeah, animations are decent in this.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I'd say that as a concept, this game is completely fine. This is a game that, like, for the era, if I played for 5 or 10 minutes and then switched over to a different game, I'd be happy. I mean, I did that a lot with Atari, and honestly, Donkey Kong, you were talking about, like, how certain home computers were considered game consoles rather than computers. Even though you could get a printer for the Commodore 64, you could technically get a text parser and such. All of that was available. You could definitely do work on the Commodore 64. It's just fascinating to me how, like, there are specific entities that were like, you know, this isn't a computer because people play games on it. Like, who are you to define what a computer is and isn't, huh, government?
Yeah, and by far the most common use for the Commodore 128 was to put it in C64 emulation mode because it has compatibility and all the C64 circuits. And the Commodore 128 also had a keyboard which was detached from the actual computer to make it seem more businessy, more serious.
Yeah, and I will give kudos to Commodore for, like, finding a way to work around that kind of silly law. Like, if you're going to be giving I somewhat understand that, like, there are certain computers that people are going to use more for business purposes than other computers. Sure, whatever. But, like, if it can be used for business purposes, like my computer, if they suddenly subsidize computers, I would probably still be playing games on my computer, you know? But I do work on my computer. Heck. Yeah. Anyway, somebody in chat said that the Game Gear was a TV and that the Game Boy had a printer. The Game Boy did not have a word processor, okay? Or like Microsoft Word or whatever.
I used an Amiga for word processing and pretty much every serious application until '97.
Really? Yeah, I think that Amigas were a little more widely used for business purposes. There were a lot of games on the Amiga, but I do know that it was definitely something that had a UI that made it a little bit easier to actually do business stuff on it. Other people, Ubi is saying, I used an Amiga for school assignments. Tristan is saying that there actually was a word processor with a notes app and spell checker for the Game Boy. Okay, but how practical was it to actually type with it? If you could attach a keyboard to your Game Boy, then I would give it a little more credit, but also say, the game is in the title. You're not gonna get a subsidy for a Game Boy. Sorry.
I'm excited for Triscorp here. Triscorp might have figured out Meatloaf, and figuring out Meatloaf will give Triscorp 50 more Tims.
Oh my gosh. Apparently, yes!
Yep.
Meatloaf, get back to jail! Haha!
And Triscorp has 8 pieces, which is tied for his best.
Yeah, Triscore actually is making a very good push during this attempt. Like, Meatloaf is frozen again. There's a chance that Triscore may be able to
Although
room
two
is
pieces on
terrifying.
this screen is not good at all.
Yeah, like, I'm very concerned that there's gonna be a very, oh no. Well, good try. But Triscor's still in the lead, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry everybody, we're bringing about frozen meatloaf ideas for you. At the same time, like, one thing that I'm thinking, Donkey Klonk, is that now that Triscor knows the room that he really wants to avoid, would it be worth going to that room first and seeing if there are pieces in there, and if so, just going and dying and then coming back? Or, like...
I think that is too slow. You really want to put up a good score, and you absolutely do the easy pieces first.
Oh my gosh. Triscor really tried to dodge here. There we go. Very, very nice. Valorial says, what if his clothing appeared in that room, though? What if you never get caught? That's another thing that you can do. Just don't get your clothing stolen. Ah! I do love when Meatloaf comes out and starts driving around. It's pretty amazing. He's just cruising.
Pika Pals is about to have 7 pieces.
Very nice, Pika Pals. But Meatloaf is on the loose, and there is a chance of death at any moment. Like, any of these screen transitions, I might consider waiting until I actually see Meatloaf go by somewhere. That way I know that I'm safe, at least in that specific area, for a little bit of time. Like, I'm terrified.
Oh, Pika Pals might tie the score here.
Ooh. Could Meatloaf just spawn on top of you, asks Chad? I think that if you are near the edge of the screen, yes.
I would agree. If Meatloaf spawn from the edge.
Oh my gosh. However, it seems like if you are not lined up with Meatloaf in certain areas, occasionally to do screen transitions, you have to be in danger. But if you're not lined up with where he normally drives, then you may be safe. Pika Pals with 8 pieces. Triscor.
Yeah, Pika Pals only needs to pick up 1 piece to go into the lead.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Although Meatloaf is getting really aggressive.
Yeah, you need to put him in the freezer. Yeah. There we go. Pika Pals has...
with the lead, yeah.
And there's a key there as well. I don't know if that key's needed, but...
Pika Pals can't pick it up because you can only hold 1 key at a time.
Gotcha.
For some reason.
Well, there we go, everybody. 37 minutes in, we have a lead change, but will Pika Pals manage to get the piece back? I believe this is going to be a yes.
Oh, this is sketchy with Riff Raff. But yes.
Riff Raff was on Pika Pal's screen. He is the sort of hunchback character in the show/game who will absolutely murder you if he gets the chance in this. So you really do not want to be anywhere near him. Even he has a projectile as well, so like even just do not get lined up with Riff Raff. Get away, get away, get away. Ooh, Triscor. 2 pieces right next to the machine. That's pretty lucky, but I think Triscor may wish to check out some of the other stuff. Oh, going for the far piece first. That's fair.
Yeah, this screen for Triscor, as you see, with the elevator and also on Pika Pals, this lags.
That elevator causes everything to go slow. If you don't walk, does the elevator go faster?
No, the elevator just lags and everything.
Oh, okay. 180 or 128 kilobytes of RAM, everybody. This is what it gets you. Somebody, by the way, in chat was noting that, like, in Spain, apparently, they also had a requirement about things that had 64 kilobytes of RAM and less. But in order to get around it, Amstrad just put an 8 kilobytes of RAM in that wasn't connected to anything, and technically it worked. Technically it passed requirements by the government. I love it. If that's actually true, that is an amazing video game fact, okay? I love it. Polk, by the way, thank you so much for the resubscription, and thank you as well, Chiron, Bad Check Pun, Windrider Shiva, we had Bilby Coder, Katie R. earlier. I very much appreciate it. It's all because of you that we're able to have these streams and give out over $2,000 worth of prizes. We're getting close to the end of Kusog7ande, and you know what? The person who's eliminated today, they will be getting some prizes. We do give up to $30 of games on Steam. I've just been given a gift card because that makes it a whole lot easier. And then Neil Breen's next movie, when it comes out, and if Neil Breen doesn't release it soon, I'll send a different movie if people want. But yeah, thank you so much. And also, like, I'm just really excited because the Grudge match started back up after GDQ, and it's going regularly. And the last show on Friday was so good. Corndan raced Sharif in Bubsy and Sonic 2, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that show is hard for me to watch with European time zones.
Oh yeah, that's really late. But they're VODs. And they go up on YouTube pretty regularly. Yeah, definitely recommended for everybody to check out. Speaking of VODs, every single VOD from Kusog7ande this year is over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you probably already know that. Yeah, I am 100% caught up, everybody, until the stream today is ended. But we're now allowed by Twitch to upload things to YouTube immediately and not have to wait 24 hours, so heck.
This looks like some good piece placement for Triscorp. There aren't a lot of distant pieces.
Yeah, that's really convenient. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces total so far. Triscorp delivering the 7th piece. You can tell that it's not delivered because it's a little bit grayed out on the display in sort of the bottom middle of the screen. Anything that sort of has the lighter yellow, almost white color there, that's already been placed in the machine. Anything that's darker, like on Peekapal's screen, has not been delivered, and there we go, the delivery happening there. This is... like, here's the deal. I don't think this is a good game per se, but at the same time, it's a fun game. It's silly. It's a little ridiculous. Oh, Triscorp, very lucky. There, I do not see any puzzle pieces down there.
Yeah, that might be the worst room for puzzle pieces because it's incredibly easy to fall off the bridge.
Yeah. Now, the main thing Triscorp needs to worry about is 1, losing clothes, 2, dying to riffraff, and 3, turning the freezer back on as soon as possible. Oh, Triscorp's probably gonna get bopped. No!
Yeah.
This is not okay! Wow!
That is not okay.
It happens every once in a while. Sometimes you just gotta get naked. Okay, Triscorp looking for his clothes, which is fair. I'm trying to think. I used to have dreams where I'd be naked, but like, I think my brain realized that I don't care about that too much anymore. It's like, whatever. And now it doesn't give me those naked dreams. It gives me other things to worry about, like, oh no, I'm late teaching a class at the university. Or, oh no, it's the end of the semester and I haven't taught my class the entire semester. I no longer teach college classes, but yeah, that apparently is still something my brain cares about. Thank you, brain.
Oh, what a garbage clothes spawn for Triscorp.
Where have we found the clothes yet?
No, and there aren't a lot of rooms left to look in either.
Where's my clothes?
Yeah,
Riff-raff, go
Triscop is
away,
going
we
to have
need
to go through
clothing.
riff to get to.
Oh my gosh,
to the clothes.
this
And, no,
not good. Oh, luckily Riff-raff just talked a little bit. Good. Get in the elevator. Go up, 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 up. Yeah. Okay. Is that clothing?
Those are the clothes, yes.
What a stupid way to represent clothes. Hey, white rectangle. That's my clothes. I mean, unless you like to dress in, like...
Triscop making a good choice here to put Meatloaf back in the freezer.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, Meatloaf's on the loose. You do not want this to happen. Uh-oh, Rocky Horror's here. Watch out. Gotta dodge Rocky.
Rocky is actually the only person in the cast who doesn't actually do anything. He doesn't even take your clothes off.
I mean, Rocky, per the movie, Rocky is kind of an innocent man, but at the same time is very, how do I describe it? The whole movie is about... Okay, everybody, this is Rocky Horror. The movie is rated R for a reason. He's a very horny guy, but that's how he was created. And that's just reality, y'all. Okay, Triscor turning the freezer back on, Meatloaf back in the freezer, and this opens up the possibility for Triscor to have a good push forward now.
Yeah, this will be 8 pieces if Triscor brings it back. So this button that says do not press, if you press it, it says do not press again. And if you press it again, then you get warped to this room, which is favorable. It's a shortcut back to... shortcut back.
That's really helpful to know. Honestly, like, trial and error is going to help you figure that out. But, like, Rocky Horror is such a bizarre movie that having, like, some sort of silly things like don't press this actually be helpful, that makes sense to me.
Peekaboo's back to 8 pieces with one holding one.
I do see that there are some words of advice. Do not go near the bedroom when Frank's about. Is that true?
You don't want to go near Frank in any case.
Oh, okay. Yeah, honestly, like, here's the deal. Like, Frankie is a mad scientist who... instead of just making monstrosities, he makes a very beautiful man. And Frankie's whole thing is about hypersexualizing everything, sort of as an experiment to try to take over the world. It doesn't go so well, but he also murders. So that's something.
9 pieces for Triscor.
Like, yeah, 9 pieces for Triscor. Very nice. Yeah, within the world of the movie, I would say, everybody, Frankie is a very sort of unpredictable person who, like, I still love the character, and I love what they represent, and I love a lot about the movie, but it's also sort of like, it's like if you have a puma as a pet, okay? You might love them for a while, and they might eventually just claw your eyes out for fun. Like, it's dangerous, okay? Frankie is dangerous, but kind of lovable, but still dangerous.
Okay, while we are discussing the merits of Tim Curry, Triscorp takes the lead.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, this is really exciting to see this back and forth between the two players. Thank you for paying attention to that. And no, I'm not talking about the merits of Tim Curry. Tim Curry is always precious. It is specifically Dr. Franken who's dangerous. Tim Curry is dangerous when you're talking about your heart, though.
Let's see if Peekaboo figures out freezing Meatloaf.
The manual mentions it, so I hope Pika Pals is able to do that. Will Pika Pals notice there is a button that's different? It's the one on the left. Hopefully Meatloaf doesn't come in and try to murder Pika Pals before hitting that. And there we go. Pika Pals hits the button. Freezer temperature all the way down. Meatloaf getting chilled again. I love that people are discussing anime turns for Tim Curry in the Rocky Horror Picture Show for Dr. Franken. Yeah, dangerous but lovable, but also dangerous. Uh-oh. Oh, Pika Pals was afraid of Rocky, but that was fine. Rocky just wanders around and is kind of a goofball. Yeah, I don't understand when people are going to steal your clothes. It just seems a little bit random sometimes, like if they're going to steal your clothes or just sort of leave you alone.
Like everything else in this game, it's RNG, it seems, but Frankenfurter always takes your clothes.
I mean, that makes sense. I've seen the movie. I mean, towards the beginning of the movie, they basically strip Brad and Janet down to their underwear. That's just sort of how they have to go along in the movie. Chad is asking if there's a canon reason why they want your clothes. Yes, throughout the great majority of Rocky Horror Picture Show, Brad and Janet are reduced to just walking around in their underwear. The quote-unquote reason is that it was raining outside and they're soaked. So their clothes are taken to be dried, but then they're just left in their underwear for the majority of the show. And I'm pretty sure that with the amount of time that these two have been in this mansion, their clothes are not very wet anymore.
Or Triscorp having to go through through the elevator.
Terrifying.
Yeah, this is terrifying.
This is not where you want... Oh, Riff Raff trying to murder Triscor. Triscor's like, I'm going. Elevator, better than Riff Raff. And I would agree, Riff Raff is like really playing some hard defense right there. Do, 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 do.
No, Triscorp, you can't climb ladders because that would expose things.
Oh, you can't climb ladders while you're naked? Yeah, I guess if you're embarrassed, then you probably shouldn't climb ladders while you're naked. That makes sense.
Where are even the clothes?
Triscor is having the worst clothing luck. Where are they? Maybe they're, like, down in the basement, the really, really scary basement. Pika Pal's somehow not dying to Riff Raff. By the way, the freezer appears to be heating up a lot faster now. Oh my gosh, Pika Pals, these dodges. This is holy. Okay.
Pika Pal's about to get 10 pieces, but Triscorp has 10 and is holding one.
Yep. 10 plus 1 is bigger than 10. I say plus 1 because it hasn't been delivered there. But yeah, Triscor trying to make the way back, and I think, unfortunately, Meatloaf is loose again. You're just gonna have to deal with Meatloaf. You know, get some good dodging and weaving. Luckily, the game doesn't take too long to get through again. Okay, there we go. The
11 pieces for Triscorp.
Very nice. Pika Pals, 10 pieces delivered to the machine. Triscor has 11. Honestly, it's really going to come down to this final attempt, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is a very tempting piece for Triscorp. It's so close, but Riff Raff is on the screen.
Yeah, luckily Riff Raff doesn't appear to be going to the left, but Meatloaf did. My gosh, this is terrifying. Triscor delivering another piece. Look at that, only 3 pieces remain. I don't think we're going to see a game clear, but it is theoretically possible with really, really good gameplay. Oh my gosh, Triscor, where do you know where the final pieces are? That's the question here. Uh-oh, Dr. Franken! Franken's after your clothes. Understandably so. That's just prerogative, you know? No, Franken's coming! Franken's gonna get you, Janet! Janet, no! I love it. Yeah, this is a horror game, everybody. I promise you. Pika Pals has 11 pieces delivered and only 4 left. Triscore has 12 delivered and only 3 left. Triscore picks up another piece, but only 15 whatever it is. And no, Meatloaf, no! Well, that is 11 plus 1 for Triscore. Pika Pals currently has 10. Oh my gosh. And honestly, that might be it for Triscore, although I would still try at least one more time. Like, you never know if you're suddenly gonna have, like, the best luck. And based on the randomness in this game, there is the possibility that everything lines up for you. Pika Pals grabs another piece. We've got 10 plus 1 for Pika Pals. Delivering this will almost tie. Pika Pals needs to deliver 2 pieces to move into the lead here. And with less than 5 minutes left, that's possible.
Yeah, this is too late for Triscorp because this game is so slow moving. This is Pika Pals' last chance.
I see Al. A bit of a mind flip. You're in for a time slip. Just so you know.
12 pieces for Pika Pals, but Pika Pals will need to deliver the 13th piece to take the lead.
Chat, you all make me laugh so much with your silly little emotes. And with your cute little comments, okay? You're just precious. Okay, Pika Pals. Yeah, that's 12 pieces delivered. I think Pika Pals just needs to collect one and then deliver it, right?
If Pika Pals picks up ones, he ties.
Yes.
So Pika Pals would need to deliver to take the lead.
There we go. 1 piece collected, but Dr. Franken doesn't like you going into his bedroom. Not a fan. Well, I mean, he really likes you going into the bedroom, but that's a different thing.
Whoa! Blocked by the elevator going down just as Pika Pals approached it.
Oh my gosh. This is so close. Pika Pals, this is your chance. If you get there, you will win. If you do not get there, you will lose. This is it. This is your state in the tournament. Are you going to make it past this round? And here we go. Pika Pal's going down. What kind of riffraff is going to be at the bottom, though? That's my question. Okay, none yet.
Meatloaf is also a factor with the temperature.
Yep, Meatloaf has been thawed. Triscore just going into the dungeon and dying a bunch. It's always fun. Okay. If you can deliver it... Oh, yeah. Piece delivered. Pika Pals moves into the lead with less than 2 minutes left, making Pika Pals, I'd say, the definitive winner of this round. That is amazing, Donkey Kong, right at the end, making the best push.
Yeah. What a thrilling finish to the match.
Yeah, this has been really, really good. Pika Pal's just partying in the, I don't even know what room this is, the object room. Oh, the last 2 pieces being here.
No.
Well, Pika Pal's already wins, so it's gonna be fine. The biggest thing that you want to do in this, though, is not die like that. I love that. I'm letting them know, by the way, when they are done, because we are definitely, I don't think Pika Pals is going to be starting back up. Let me go ahead and put on some other tunes here so that we can have some jolly good music. Music? You gonna play or not? Missed. Okay, missed. That's good. That's definitely good music. So here we go. Just waiting for the last 10 seconds. The players are going to find out that the match is done. And then hopefully we'll have them come and join, because I would love to hear their thoughts on this game. That is time, everybody. Bam! Hello there, Pika Pals. Hey, I don't want to reveal what happens until Triscore is here, because this was a hot match. I'm not even kidding you. That was intense. For us as viewers at the end, maybe less intense for you, but
well, it was feeling intense for a while, because I knew that last run was going really well, and then suddenly I look across the bridge and see 2 pieces there, and it's like, well, guess I've got all the pieces I'm getting.
I know, we saw that and we're like, yeah, that's probably it. One of the meta strategies that I thought about was possibly like going to the basement first and then seeing if there were pieces there, and if not, continuing on, and if there were like 2 pieces across the bridge, dying and restarting. But I don't think that was needed. I think that like could have been not enjoy. Well, first off, not enjoyable. Second, it could have wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, I was feeling like I had it in my head that there's probably always going to be a piece across that bridge, because that's what the game would do. But
yeah,
I just figured I'd get a run with 14 pieces and then rush the bridge if that somehow happened.
Yeah, that's fair. Hello there, Triscore. Welcome. So let me go ahead and reveal to you right now, to both of you, Triscore, you managed to grab, how many was it, 13 pieces?
No, Twiscorp had returned 12 pieces and held 1.
Well, yeah, had collected 13, but only delivered 12. Pika Pals, in the last 2 minutes of the match, you delivered your 13th piece and took the victory.
I guess we lost Triscore again.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. If Triscore is able to join us, that's fine. But yeah, Pika Pals, congratulations. You're the victor.
Somehow. The last run just went crazy and everyone decided to leave.
Yeah, like we were watching, you went, you were blocked by the elevator. We're like, when you get down to the bottom, are there going to be enemies there trying to kill you? Are you going to be able to get through them? But there was nobody at the very bottom of the elevator. It looks like Triscore might be here now. Hello there, Triscore. Are you here now? Maybe. I see you here. If you're trying to talk, I'm not able to hear you, though. There. Oh, I hear sound. Maybe? Hello? Hello, Triscore?
Hello?
Yes, we gotcha!
Yeah.
All right. Well, Triscore, let me go ahead and let you know that while both of you got the same number of pieces, Pika Pals managed to deliver the final piece in the last 2 minutes of the match. And the final piece, the 13th piece, and unfortunately the final 2 were on the other side of the bridge, and that led to a very untimely death. But Pika Pals just barely eked out the victory at the very end, Triscore. Oh my gosh. So with that said, seriously, this was a hot match. This was super exciting, and I loved it. But let's talk about your experience with the game. Like, how was this game as a whole? Triscore first, if you're able to.
Hello.
Hello, I hear ya.
Finally.
Oh
Couldn't
no.
hear anything.
Could you hear me?
I couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and do the reveal here again. Both of you got 13 pieces, but Pika Pals in the last 2 minutes got the last piece back. And Triscor, you did not manage to deliver the 13th piece. You would have taken the victory if Pika Pals didn't do that in the final 2 minutes. Like, it was right at the end. Yeah. Seriously though, like we rarely have matches that are quite this close, and like it was perfect. It was the perfect way to end this. Like a little bit of a heartbreaker that Triscor doesn't win, but somebody has to get eliminated today. And I'm gonna blame Meatloaf. Okay, it's all his fault. Actually, it's all the bridge's fault.
Is all the bridge's fault?
Yeah, so Triscor, what are your thoughts of the game as a whole?
It's kind of like... It's kind of meh.
Kind of meh, okay. Kind of meh. Pika Pals?
Kind of the same. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but most of the enemies are just there to try and waste your time until either Eddie shows up and runs you over or you get petrified.
Yeah, if Riff Raff gets you and petrifies you, then that's pretty problematic. One character who will never do something bad, though, is specifically Rocky Horror, the guy who gets created and is walking around in just a Speedo. He's harmless. He's absolutely harmless in this game, which makes sense movie-wise as well.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's
You
really
like
nice.
barely ever see him, but
Yeah, you don't see him all that much. He's a good guy. Yeah. Have either of you seen the movie, by the way, or listened to the music from Rocky Horror?
I know nothing.
You know nothing?
Nothing at all.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but I guess I've heard the song that this game has. But
Yeah, the time warp.
yeah,
Okay, I would say
I've
that
heard
like
Time Warp before.
there are a couple things in the movie that like help make sense of the gameplay that's happening in here, but honestly there's not too much, and it's sort of nice that both of you like had the same amount of knowledge going into this, that essentially you've got the manual and you just got to deal with trying to collect all of these pieces. Donkey Kong is really funny because he knows that I hate collectathons, but I kind of like this game. I gotta be honest. It's one of the rare collectathons that I enjoy. But yeah, with this, honestly, I do think that it's a game that I probably wouldn't have played more than like 5 minutes of as a kid. So did it continue to get more frustrating as you played, or just sort of like become more like, okay, this is fine, whatever?
It becomes more frustrating because you just realize how the RNG just gonna do its own thing, and sometimes it's over the bridge and you can't get past the bridge.
Yeah, that part, like having the pieces appear on the other side of the bridge, I kind of want to go and play this game a little bit just to see if there's a reliable way to get across the bridge, because I don't think anybody else managed to do that. I don't think either of you got across that bridge.
By the way, the bridge is only in the 128 version. It's not in the 64 version.
Oh, well, there we go. Let's just play the Commodore 64 version instead. Yeah.
I won't.
My apologies. What was that, Triscor?
I would.
You
Play
won't.
it.
Fine.
Play this portion.
End of discussion. I will not play
No.
it. Oh,
Right
come
now.
on.
Do it.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's
No, I've got another match coming up. I can't show you.
right, fine.
I'm busy, Triscor. With that said, yes, you are eliminated, but reach out to me. If you're not a friend with me on Steam already, go ahead and add me so that I can get you a gift card. Again, you made it far enough that I'll give you a gift card for $30. We do have a movie if it ever actually gets released. If not, I'll go ahead and arrange a different movie to be given to players for this year. But seriously, you did a fantastic job in the bracket this year, Triscore. Sorry you didn't make it to the end, but you did really good.
But that was a close call, Pickapass.
It was.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So, Triscore, as usual, do you have any last words for your grave?
Guess I'm dead. I
guess I'm dead. You know what? If that were on a tombstone, I would go and visit it, and I would take pictures. I love that. Yeah, you don't necessarily need to, like, say it's just a jump to the left. That would be a very depressing headstone message. Then a step to the right, yeah. Well, are you streaming anything these days over at your channel?
Just it's the RPG book club doing just now, and right now this month it's Entrean Odyssey. I can't pronounce it right.
Oh yeah, Etrian Odyssey. I've never played any of those games, and I've been interested in checking them out sometime. So, where does that stream happen? Or if there is a stream.
It's kind of boring. You probably don't want to watch it.
It's kind of boring and you don't want to watch it. Okay, where can I go watch your boring, unwatchable stream, Triscore? Just over at your channel? Oh no, Triscore left! Oh, that's fine. Pika Pals, what about you? Are you streaming these days?
Not much. Pretty much just this and any other race stuff that happens.
Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, hopefully, you know, you're gonna be able to move on and do well in your next match. You will be getting, I believe, an endurance round match after this, so 2 hours of fun. I hope that you do well.
Yeah, fun.
Oh, it's fun.
Number
It's
of
fun.
quotation marks around that.
We used to have 2-hour matches for the entire tournament. Come on, you can do it.
True. Most of these games are fun enough when you go in with the right expectations.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and let you go there. Then thank you, Pika Pals, and thank you, Donkey Klonk.
Yep,
You're
it was
welcome.
fun. Good luck to the next races. Next
Yeah.
racers.
Yay! Take care, friends. Bye.
Yep.
Everybody, we've got one more match today. This is going to be a winner's bracket round specifically between a couple wonderful players. In fact, it's the endurance round. Give me 1 minute as I do a little bit of setup. I'm going to run a quick ad. It is completely fine if you run ad block, though, because I'm kind of angry at Twitch. Okay, see you in a minute.